Welcome to this next episode of the Beloved Miracles Couples Project. Today we're reaching from Norway to Columbia, South Carolina, USA. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
Doing great, man. Thanks for asking and thanks for being here. Let me do a brief introduction of you. Kevin, Mr. eBay Johnson, is an eBay power seller and has been using eBay since 2001. Kevin has bought and sold over $250,000 worth of products, ranging from his first product, a Sanyo Beta cassette recorder, to movie projectors, to listing the first iPhone for $1 million. It didn't sell, and everything in between. So Kevin, where does your story begin?
Hey, Tim. Well, it basically begins, I was born in New York City. I'm a military brat, so I've lived all over the country. And it's like I never lived in New York City, but I was born there, sort of like I stayed there for maybe a week and then went on to some other state. So like most people, when you're in the military or your family's in the military, you just sort of grow up not staying in one place a long time. And so with that happening, eventually I would have friends, and then of course move away, and then have more friends, and then move somewhere else. And so it just was a crazy life, being a military brat. But I saw people as I grew older. It's like, why did you have to like have money and be wealthy when you have gray hair? Why can't you be wealthy and have money when you're like in your 20s and 30s? And so that question fascinated me my entire life, and I was on this mission to find a way. How can I make money at a young age and not have to wait till I'm in my 40s and 50s to be successful? So I was on this mission, checking out things, joining companies, and I come across this company. It was called National Toll-Free Marketing, and it was out of Shingle Springs, California. And the company was like one of these network MLM deals. However, it was so motivational. It was so inspirational. They had these hotel seminars. They'd have these people come in and do these great presentations, and it would convince you to join. And they actually got me to fly out to California and be in an environment where it was like, this is like the dream of all dreams. Literally, they reprogrammed me to want to be successful. And what they did was you land in the environment was such that your house is off a airplane runway. People fly into the runway, they hang a left, hang a right, and then they park their airplane in front of their house. Being in an environment like that is like, hey, who wouldn't want to live like this? And so that's sort of where I started my entrepreneurial journey. And unfortunately, that company was not legitimate. It was an illegal pyramid, and it got shut down. But from that experience, I learned like how to be an entrepreneur and what I wanted out of my life, as far as not being having to wait till I'm 50 to be successful. So from there, I stumbled into eBay, and I started just selling things, the Beta cassette recorder, and I just got hooked on it. And then from there, I developed a system of selling a certain product on eBay that just sells like crazy. And I couldn't even believe how well it sold. And so from there, I taught other people how to sell that product on eBay, and it just exploded. The whole story started from I was like, man, I want to do the internet. I want to start selling stuff on the internet. And so I get these emails from all these guys talking about you can sell stuff on the internet, but then I didn't have a list. And so one of the marketers that was on that list, he's like, I'm going to have an auction, and whoever the highest bidder is going to be able to send their email to my list of 20,000 people, their product or service. And so I'm like, this is it. This is how I'm going to build a list. So I ended up being the highest bidder, and I got to sell my system of how I sold this product on eBay. And it was funny. The guy was from Canada, and he went out, he took the system, he applied it, and he got results. And he didn't tell me that he actually was making money off the system. And then he said, it worked. Your system, made money. I did what you said to do, etc. So then he goes and he says to his list, look, here's this guy, Kevin. He created this system. I did it, and you can do it too. And then he put my link to the product in his email, and then he sent the email out to his list. And within minutes, I started seeing money going into my account for sales. Just like that. That day, I had a job at the phone company, and I was on my computer. I could see the sales coming in on the computer on my email of sale after sale after sale, and I didn't do anything. I was at work just doing my job, and then these sales start coming in, and it's like I'm hooked. This internet is the way to make tons of money. And as it turned out, that experience led to me meeting another internet marketer who then decided to joint venture and sell coaching and sell fraud and interview me, and it went nuts. We had the whole country here in the United States doing the system. And so it's just been a dream come true, since that happened, with teaching people what I did and showing people that, yes, your dreams can come true. You just have to have faith and be persistent and know what you want and make things happen.
Nice. Well, congratulations as well, right? I mean, that vision you had early on and the persistence, and through a scam or whatever that was that you had to go through with the airplane people, and apart and getting to where you are today, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a journey, with the experience of the national company called National Toll-Free Marketing. That experience changed everything. Had I not, been exposed to that type of lifestyle and those people and how they motivated me, and they reprogrammed my brain to think different. I mean, everybody who went to that company, they were searching forever on some way. There's got to be some methodology or something to get rich before you're 60, 70, whatever. And because I remember hanging out with some of the people after the company folded, and we all just kept searching and looking and just always trying to find a way to make money other than a job and other than just the same old. And so I was let go of my job back in 2009, March 28th, 2009. And it was kind of interesting that year that I actually left my job. I made at over $250,000, and there was no way I could have done that with a job. It just wouldn't have happened. And so it's just, things happen for a reason. In fact, I had planned to get laid off at some point from that job because I hated the job so much that I just find a way to get out of this job, because I'm not going to get anywhere. It was one of these jobs when you're at the phone company, everybody's been there 30 years, 40 years. They never go anywhere. It's just a miserable life. Everybody hates it, but they don't think there's anything else to live for other than go to that job every day, complain about your coworkers. They complain about you. It's just, not where you want your life to end up. So, I was that day that my last day, I was actually on a stage in Florida teaching a seminar, the day that I was officially cut from the company. And it was like, this is the life, hanging out with millionaires, teaching people, having fun, not, at a 9-to-5 job, just there because there's no other choice. So, that's...
Inspire any of them to make any changes? Like, did your example in any way affect even one other person there at that place?
Yeah, I mean, it affected a couple people, because a couple people actually used my system. I taught them my system, and they saw there was another way to make money, and they jumped all over it. It took them a while to convince them, but once they started seeing, hey, it works, I'm making money, you know, they continued to utilize the system. So it was just, it's great when a couple people, their eyes or their brain opens up that there is another way to make money other than just sitting here on a computer all day at the job, you know, doing whatever. That there are people out there that are making a fortune, you know, on the internet, and it's amazing. So how young some of these people are. They're in their 30s, they're in their 20s, and Tim and I, you know, some of these people personally. So it's not like it's impossible because other people have done it. So when you see other people doing it, it's obviously proof that you can do it too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you inspired at least a couple other people there at that workplace to make a change, right? To make choices that we didn't even know we could make.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. So then, I mean, you remind me of what we've often heard of this industry along the lines of, you know, it's really, no matter what we think we're selling, it's really an industry of self-development and leadership, right? And your story so far seems to exemplify that, right? You had a certain amount of self-development that needed to occur to kind of like break through a mindset, right? Break through the barriers of what you thought was possible. And then from there, the leadership, right? Because very quickly we become the one who can turn and start helping others, as you mentioned you did.
Yes.
Once you have the list going and others experiencing, implementing your same results, right? And then now you're the leader,
right?
Showing
exactly.
Yeah. So that's clear, and I appreciate you emphasizing that, because I think we all need that reminder that really this is an industry that we're in of self-development and leadership. And then the question is along systems. I could hear at different times you used the word system, and that was implemented into what you were doing, right? Like what you did on eBay was a system. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. Yeah, it was a system that I kind of created on my own. I was seeing that there was a certain product on eBay that was selling well, and I had access to get that product. Kind of accidentally tripped onto the fact that I can get this product at very little to no cost, and there's other people who can get this product little to no cost. So, and it's selling very well on eBay, so I'll just list it on eBay, and it just started selling. And then the sellers or the buyers started reaching out to me off of eBay saying, hey, let's save some money. I'll deal with you directly. You know, you get me the product, I'll send you the money. I mean, these people would send me the money before I even had the product. It was just ridiculous, you know, the fact that I would just tell them I'm going to get the product tomorrow or 2 days from now, and then just send me the money. They'll send me the money, and I'll buy the product, and then I will ship it to them. I was actually doing like no money down transaction, because the fact that I knew I could get the product, but I did not have the money at that second, but I would use their money to go buy the product. And then of course the difference would be profit.
Nice.
So very, very unique system to be able to do that, because there aren't too many businesses where you can use other people's money to buy a product and then go buy that product and then send them the product, and then the difference of what they sent you and what you have to pay is your profit.
Exactly. Can you say any more about systems, like systems in general, right? Because I'm finding that many of us, especially online, well, even the internet being a system, right? That the awareness of systems, the implementing of systems, the using of systems to help us accomplish something. And then, right, if we identify and understand the system, that almost ties into its scalability as well, doesn't it?
Correct. Once you tap into a proven system, there's literally, it literally cuts your chances of failure, because that system is working. Other people are using that same system. The system is working. Therefore, you're going to get results. When you don't have a proven system and you just have something that sort of might work, kind of should work, but doesn't, that's when you start to question whether what you're doing is right. But when you tap into a system, a company that has a system that's been proven, that regular people are getting results, then it just cuts, one, your learning curve, and it cuts down the time that it'll take you to generate income. And so that's what I love about a company that has a system that has been proven that other people are getting results, and therefore it should be like, if you follow the system like they say to follow it, you'll get the same results.
So yeah, so if I follow your story, like you observed a system, right? You saw someone at eBay doing something and you recognized that you could actually duplicate that system. I mean, is that essentially what started you off with the eBay?
Yeah, that's what started me off. Well, what I did was I had to figure out a way how I could find this product that I knew sold on eBay. And then I saw another system in the newspaper where people would advertise, you know, I'll pay cash for jewelry, or I'll pay cash for records, or I'll pay cash for whatever. So I said, I wonder if that ad would work for my business. And so I utilized that guy's system of putting an ad in the newspaper, and I put my ad in the newspaper for the product that I was looking for. And I got the same results. People called me. They said they had the product. I told them when I pay for it, and therefore that system worked. I just used somebody else's system to generate income for my business, because I didn't have a way to actually get the product because I had the product myself. But then I saw that, hey, if I could do what this guy is doing with this little ad to say, I pay cash for, I think it was records or whatever it was a product that people were trying to get people to buy from. I just utilized it for my business, and it took off.
Fantastic. So like from where you're at now, what's next? You know what I mean? Like where do you go from where you are now, and what's the vision you have for what you'll be doing next?
Well, what I am doing next is I'm tapping into another system of a friend of ours that has been very successful. And because I wanted to get away from a products type business and more into an internet-based business where the product is on the internet, it's education, it's teaching people how to do what they want to do, how to live the dream lifestyle. And so I decided, let me expand myself into an area where I can help people on a one-on-one basis through the internet, and not have to physically, because with eBay business, you physically have to ship products, package them, take them to the post office. You know, it's a very, and then you have to go get the product. And many times I'll have to drive an hour or two just to go get the product, because that's who has it. You know, if they live an hour away, well, I'm going an hour away to get it. And so that can be very time consuming. But with the internet and in a system that alleviates driving anywhere, you can do it all from your house. It just makes it a lot more easier to scale up, especially with the system that we have with the company that you and I are involved in.
Cool. So more and more virtual, less physical, and more of a system that is virtually based, more digitally based.
Right. Yeah, because we're in an age where people relish their time, and if their time is spent doing physical work of picking up things, a physical product, their time spent driving to the post office, standing in the long lines, you know, printing labels, dealing with customer service, you know, that can kind of scale down their time that they have to enjoy life, because, you know, life is short, and you want to make the most of your time by just enjoying life. Like next week, I'm taking off to go to the beach and, you know, just have fun and just do things that make me happy, not just, you know, on a computer all day and all night. But our business allows us to, we got to put in a couple of hours or even less than that to have a great income. So I'm loving the system that we're involved in, where we can live life on our terms. We can get up when we want, go to bed when we want, work as long as we want, as long as we followed our system and do what the system tells us to do. The results just happen.
Cool. So like now what I think I'm hearing is, you know, from self-awareness to self-development to leadership, now it's more like lifestyle, right? I think I'm hearing you really emphasize that what you're focusing on now is systemizing in a way that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want to live.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the lifestyle is just being able to do what you want to do and when you want to do it. And what's really interesting is, you know, next week I'm going to Charleston to be an extra in a TV show, which is like, hey, you know, when you have life on your terms, these are things that you know, dream of doing or you want to do, but you can't because of your job, or, you know, you get to hang out with all these different types of people. And, you know, and it's a lot of fun, you know, working on a TV show and whatnot. So besides that, I'll be able to like stop, go to the beach, hang out, you know, do whatever, because I'm not on a really set timetable. And, you know, it's just you can live life the way you want to live it, not the way somebody has told you that you have to live life. That how the society has said that you have to work 40 hours a week for 30 years, you know, for little or whatever, when your pension is gone or they take it away, or, you know, the gold watch. They don't even give away gold watches anymore. I mean, it's really like, why do that? Why even, you know, settle for that when deep down inside you, we all have this potential to do more, but it has to be brought out, you know, and that's what's really critical, that you tap into that and you find a way to get out of what's already in you, the potential to live your dreams. So to a lot of people, they have given up on their dreams. They forgot them, and our company helps people to get those dreams back again, and helps people to relive, you know, that lifestyle that they've always wished they could have, but because they've been beaten down so much in life, they sort of have settled for, you know, mediocrity.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something of together, right? It's one thing to be a self-made man kind of thing. And it leads into my next question, which is, do you see that for couples, right, who is primarily our audience here, would you have any specific advice for couples who are building together?
Yeah, I would. It's very important, like with couples, that you have some success to show your other significant other that what you're doing is going to work, and that what you're doing is going to be beneficial for both of us. Because when I first started in my eBay business, you know, my wife was very skeptical. She didn't understand. And then she started seeing these results, and you're making more doing eBay than you are at your job, you know. And she started to like, wow, this worked. And then she started to do the business, and she started getting results. And then she started like implementing her own little strategies. And I'm like, I don't recommend you do that. She's like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, hey, that's not how I designed this, you know, for you to be doing all these crazy things. But she did it anyway. And she got results, and she, you know, started to have her own money, which made me very happy. I didn't have to constantly give her money. But that's what's important when you're a couple. Your couple may not be on board from the beginning, but if you can get results to prove to them that, hey, it works, I'm getting results, they will just jump right on it. They won't even hesitate, because they'll see you're making more money than you're making at your job. What is this? Well, how can I do it? And then they want to join you, and then they want to, you know, get closer because you're both on the same page. So that's what's really important. Unless you have one of those spouses that supports you when it's just starting and you're still at zero, that's great. But the way to get them on your side to see the dream is to get results, start showing them what you're doing is working, and then they won't even hesitate, because they'll want to know, well, what is it? What are you doing? How does it work? And then you show them, I did this, I did that, and bang, you know, the money starts pouring in. And then it's not an issue getting the spouse to see it, because they want to see that what you're doing is working. And if they don't see that, there's going to be this skepticism. There's going to be this, I don't see it. You're not getting results. You've been doing this so many months, years, days, whatever. Let them. I mean, it's like the song says, you know, I did it my way. You got to do it to get the results. You got to show them, you know, that, hey, it works, and here's the results in black and white. You know, oh, okay. And then they start to see your results. They want to do it too.
Huh. So again, what's ringing in my mind listening to you is this idea of an industry of self-development and leadership. And it's almost as if when the results come, that is the leadership, isn't it? Like we lead by our example. So if our example produces results, it almost inherently now we're a leader, right? Because others are looking to those results that as you're describing, and they're saying, huh, I'll also step up and lead my own results.
Yeah. And you know, people love to see that what you're doing is working, and then they see you as a leader, and then they want to, you know, follow you. They want to learn from you. They want to know what you're doing, you know. So it's amazing. I mean, interviews I did like 5 years ago, people will email me, I heard you on this podcast talking about your system, you know, how can I learn more? And it was like, you know, I didn't even know that podcast was still out there. It's like, wow, it really is something. When you get results, people want to follow you and know what you're doing.
There you go. Once a leader, always a leader, right? Especially in the virtual world. I mean, you'll never be able to take back all of the clones
right.
out there still leading someone.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. That you know, the things you forgot about that somebody has not listened to is still can interest them enough to want to change and, you know, get their act together or do something different. So
fantastic. Thank you again, because you're really emphasizing my theory, my hypothesis here that together we overcome. This idea that, you know, we can certainly claim credit for having accomplished something. And yet when I look at my own life and the more of these stories we're tapping into here of inspiration and hope, we don't ever really do it alone, do we? I mean, there's always someone that in some way together, like you mentioned early on, I call them the airplane people, right? Like they inspired you that together in their environment, you were able to break through something in your self-development. And then that lead to, or you mentioned a group of you that were like almost masterminding, what can we do, right? What can we do with this online marketplace? And then there together, you were able to accomplish something all the way to your relationship, right? With your wife. Here again was a together overcoming. And yeah, that's kind of like what I'm finding is a repeating theme. This idea that we truly have resilience and other character qualities of persistence, and even the patience is not just usually alone. It's in company with someone else usually that we can reference that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's always great to have a support of somebody in a business, like in a relationship, you know, because to do it on your own, you're constantly banging your head against the wall. You're not getting any feedback on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And you can always learn from somebody else who's with you as to, you know, what they're doing is different from what you're doing, and maybe what they're doing is better, or what they're doing can be tweaked. And so, you know, when you're a couple, it's great to have somebody else who might see a different angle of what you're doing than what you're actually seeing.
Fantastic. Well, I think that brings it full circle, right? So to any of the couples that this might inspire, like fantastic. And couples in the broadest sense, like any two come together is what I'm noticing is a couple, right? Two or more come together. It's almost scriptural, right? When two or more come together, therefore there am I. And I think that can also inspire our listeners here through your story and your generous sharing of it here, of the message, which is that together we truly do overcome in a number of ways. So thank you so much, Kevin. So from Norway to South Carolina. Until next time.
All right, Tim, thanks.